Hello, Turbo Girl. There are 7 wonders in the world. Can you name me the one that is found in Egypt?
I think it is the pyramids.
Right. A pyramid is not flat. In fact, it stands as a solid. Today, we are going to learn about different kinds of solids and how to make a model of the solid. Are you ready to begin, Turbo Girl?
Yes, let's start.
First, let us study the pyramid. Turbo Girl, tell me how many faces does a pyramid have?
There are 2 faces which are triangles, teacher.
No, Turbo Girl. Let me show you a trick. Now, can you see 3 more hidden faces of the pyramid?
Ah, yes. There are 1 triangle at the back, 1 triangle on the right, and 1 square at the bottom.
That's right. A pyramid with a square as its base is called a square pyramid. Now, I take back my trick. I have a task for you. Can you draw a pyramid for me?
Sure, no problem. Done. Here it is.
Good work, Turbo Girl. Now, tell me what this solid is.
Let me see. This solid has 4 triangular faces. They are 1 triangle at the front, 1 triangle at the back, 1 triangle on the right, and 1 triangle at the bottom. Like the pyramid in Egypt, the 4 faces stand up to meet at a point. But the base of this solid is a triangle, not a square.
Good observation, Turbo Girl. We call this kind of solid pyramid too. A pyramid has a shape at the base, like triangle, square, circle, and rectangle, and its other adjacent faces meet at a point. A pyramid which has a triangle as its base is called a triangular pyramid. If a pyramid has a rectangle as its base, it is called a rectangular pyramid. Turbo Girl, I have 2 wooden solids here. Do you know what they are?
Easy. This one is a cube, and that one is a cuboid. A cube has 6 identical square surfaces, while a cuboid does not.
Yes, that's correct. They are also called prisms.
Prisms? What are they?
Well, a prism is a solid with the same shape throughout.
I still couldn't get it, teacher. Can you explain again?
Okay, if we cut this cube into pieces along its base, we will get numerous squares. These squares, when stacked together, will form a cube. Similarly, we can get numerous rectangles if we cut the cuboid along its base. These rectangles again can make up the cuboid. So you can see that a prism is a solid with 2 flat ends.
I see, teacher. So this solid is called triangular prism?
Clever girl. This solid has 2 flat ends which are 2 triangles. So we call it triangular prism. This prism is made up of 5 faces. Besides the 2 flat ends, there are 3 more rectangles. One is on the left, one is on the right, and the other is at the back.
I understand now, teacher.
Glad to know that. Can you identify these 2 solids?
Well, let me take a closer look. Solid A has 4 triangles standing up to meet a point. It is a triangular pyramid. As for solid B, it has 2 flat ends which are triangles. One triangle is on the left and the other one is on the right. Besides these 2 triangles, there are 1 rectangle at the back, 1 rectangle in the front, and 1 rectangle at the bottom. Is this a triangular prism too, teacher?
Try to rotate this solid and see what it will be like.
Ah, yes, it's really a triangular prism.
Turbo Girl, can you help me to stack up these 20 50-cent coins?
No problem, teacher. That is it.
What have you made up from these 20 coins?
This object has 2 flat ends which are circles. Is it a kind of prism, teacher?
You are so smart, Turbo Girl. A prism is a solid which has a shape like square, rectangle, circle, and triangle throughout its length. If we break this object into pieces, we will get many circles with the same area. So it is a prism too.
Is there any special name for this kind of prism, teacher?
Yes, it is a cylinder. A cylinder is made up of many circles of the same area.
Thank you, teacher.
There are many different types of solid. Other than the pyramid, can you name me others?
A cube and a cuboid.
Good. There is another solid called the prism. An example of a prism is the triangular prism.
Okay, now I know.
Good. Now you're ready to learn about their nets.
A net? Like the one we use to catch fish?
Of course not. Well, take a look at this pyramid. It has a square base and 4 triangular sides. If the pyramid opens up and its 4 triangular sides unfold at the base, we get a figure that looks like a star. Turbo Girl, do you know what is the name of this figure?
No.
We call this figure the net of the pyramid. A figure that can be folded and joined to form a solid is called a net of the solid. Turbo Girl, do you think you can match the following nets with the correct solids?
I can try. This is a cube. To help me find its net, I have to count the number of surfaces it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I also know that the sides of a cube are of the same length. I know. This must be the net of the cube because it is made up of 6 squares. Next, I have to find the net of the cuboid. A cuboid has also got 6 sides, but 4 of its surfaces are rectangles. Hey, this must be the net of a cuboid because it is made up of 4 rectangles and 2 squares. The 2 squares are the end of the cuboid.
Clever girl. However, you have to be very careful when you're matching the nets to their respective solid. For example, we have here a figure which is made up of 6 squares, but it is not the net of a cube.
Why not, teacher?
Well, if you try to fold and join the figure to form a solid, you will find that you cannot form a cube.
One of the surfaces overlaps another when I try to fold it.
Yes, that's why it's important to visualize how the figure will look when it is folded and joined. There is also another net which you have to know. That is the net of a prism. Can you tell me what will be the shapes that will make up its net?
I can see 2 shapes, triangle and rectangle.
That's correct, Turbo Girl. This is the net of a prism. Its total surface is made up of 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. Again, it is important to make sure that all the surfaces are aligned and do not overlap when folded and joined. Now we are going to make a solid from the net given. Turbo Girl, can you trace and cut out the net?
Okay, give me a minute.
When you are done, fold along the dotted lines. Turbo Girl, can you name the solid that you have made?
I have made a prism.
Good. I have 4 nets here. Can you tell me which ones can be folded to form a cube?
Let me try to fold each of them to see if they can form a cube. Net A can be folded into a cube. So can net B. Hey, net C doesn't form a cube. 2 of its square surfaces overlap. Finally, net D too can be folded to form a cube. So, net A, B, and D are nets of a cube, while net C is not.
Good work, Turbo Girl. We will now learn how to identify a solid which can be formed from a given net. Look at this net. Turbo Girl, what are the shapes that make up the net?
There are 2 identical smaller triangles, 2 identical bigger triangles, and a rectangle.
Good. That means the solid will have 5 surfaces which consist of the shapes that you have identified. Turbo Girl, can you identify the solid that can be formed from the net?
Okay, Solid A is made up of 2 triangles and 3 rectangles, so it cannot be solid A. Solid B is made up of 3 big triangles and a small triangle. Therefore, B is wrong too. Solid C is a cuboid which has no triangular surface, so the answer cannot be C. Solid D has a rectangular base, 2 smaller triangular sides, and 2 bigger triangular sides. Hence, solid D can be formed with the given net.
Well done. Let's do a quick summary of the lesson. What is a net, Toboggo?
It is a figure which can be folded to form a solid.
Right. When matching a net with a solid, what must you take note of?
We must make sure that the number of surfaces is the same as that of the solid, and the shapes in the net corresponds to the surfaces of the solid. The various surfaces of a net must be aligned in such a way that none of them overlap one another.
Good. We shall end here. Goodbye.